Hey everyone, I'm Michael Leidick, and this is another episode of NinjaTrader Unplugged. There are some really awesome tools that you can use in NinjaTrader that don't cost a dime. And you'll find a lot of the tools that are available online are for sale are really close facsimiles to stuff that you can use for free. Most people just don't know how to massage those things, though, inside of NinjaTrader. So one of the tools that I want to show you in relation to a concept I want to teach today is called the swing tool. And it's nothing revolutionary, as you'll see, but I find it forces your eye to look at something you might ordinarily miss. So here, I just double clicked on the swing tool in the NinjaTrader indicators list, and you'll see there's some crazy nonsense over here that we can change and do some stuff to, but these are default values, and I just want you to see what happens if you put a default value on the chart. Now all of a sudden there's these crazy little lines, and these lines are reflective of places in the market where there was a violent reaction. Something happened here. There were orders parked at a very specific price. Supply and demand shifted. The balance of power dramatically changed at these levels. Now, I'm specifically looking at a 15-minute chart in crude. I'm using a concept known as higher time frame analysis. When you start using a new technique, I find it's easier for new traders to reference fewer signals. A lot of times, one of the number one mistakes traders make when they first start is throwing 1,000 things on their screen. They figure, well, if one line is great, 30 of them must be even better, must be 30 times more important. And that's not necessarily the case. Let me demonstrate a technique to you and see if you can replicate it on your side of things with the template we're about to build and upload for you. First thing I want you to do is go up to your drawing tool section. Okay, click stay in draw mode, because we're going to make a bunch of lines here. And once you've clicked stay in draw mode, go down and choose the ray tool. Not Ray Charles, ray, like a ray of sunshine. And you can use the F3 key if you want to use a shortcut here. And now here's what I want you to do. Find the lines where the market has put in these swing highs and lows from the previous day. That's all. And put it over the first dot, and then drag that ray tool so the line extends horizontally off to the right. And then just do that really quickly for all of the lines from the previous day. And I'll show you what that looks like here when we're finished. Okay, here's what that looks like when we're done. And all I've done is I've just taken a ray tool and I've drawn a horizontal line over extending to the right for each one of those swings. Now, why is this important? It's important because once the lines are on the screen, if we're trading on a lower time frame, we can come over here and just change the time frame to a lower time frame. Okay? And now, here's what I want you to do. Go back in, take the swing indicator off, and now look at those lines. These lines represent high probability trading areas. Why are they high probability trading areas? Because waiting at each of these lines are groups of people called low risk traders. Low risk traders are sort of the ultimate ninja traders with regards to a little bit of risk for a maximum amount of reward. And so they're specifically watching for areas where there have been these violent reactions. And they're targeting those levels with shorts and longs to see, if I risk a little bit, will it bounce off here a second or a third time? And so these lines can be places where we're looking for shorts and looking for longs along the way for a really super low risk, i.e. it bounced off here so violently before in the past, there's a really good chance it might bounce off here violently again in the future. So go through that higher time frame analysis, put the swing tool on, draw the rays, drop down, kind of like going from a high gear to a low gear, drop down to a lower time frame, and you'll start to see these important levels. Now, there's two other techniques that I want to teach you. Let's just lay them out here so we remember. Number one, I want to teach you the 50% rule. And number two, I want to teach you the extension rule, because both of these can be really helpful. A lot of times you'll see movements that are, or lines that are really far apart. And you may have to wait a super amount of time for the market to get all the way back up or all the way back down to them. So one of the things you can do, another super free, super useful tool in NinjaTrader, is the Fibonacci retracements tool. And so I want you to come here, and when you have two lines that are near each other but still far away, draw a 50% fib. Just come in here, double click on the fib once you've drawn it, and then I uncheck everything but 0%, 100%, and 50%. I extend the line to the right and hit OK. So if you want to decrease the space between the signals, just come here, find the two lines that are nearest each other, and then draw 50%. And what you're going to start to see are even more reactions at those bounce points, right? So we've got our latest bounce point here. I'll make it a little thicker so we can keep track of that. And then we got a new line here. This 15-minute line is relatively new, so I can move my fib tool over, and now I've got the 50% line right there. So here's one of the really cool things we can do. There's no lines down here. Crude is being a big baby, and it's downtrending again, and people are selling it off in droves. What I can do, I can take the last fib between these last two lines and copy it. See what I just did there? I took this thing right here and I copied it. And I'm going to show you how to get lines underneath where we're at. Take that fib tool and now paste it. Right click and paste it. And look at where that next bounce took place. That's pretty magical, right? Let's just sit and mull on that for a moment. Take the last two lines. Think of them like stairs on the way down. Take the last two stair treads that printed, draw your fib between them, or just take the gap between the lines and then paste another stair distance down. And so now there's an expectation. Low risk traders are watching these levels, these extensions of the stair treads as we move down to the next 50%. And then there's probably going to be as violent of a reaction down here at 30.04. It would be really easy to wait for the markets to actually have these bounces come back and play market replay and look like a genius, but I just want you to see the technique and how we teach our customers to envision where price will go in the future. It's really easy to use lagging indicators to figure out what happened in the past, but I think the key to being successful is to find techniques like this one where you can anticipate coming up in the future where your planned trade will be, analyzing the risk, and then deciding if it's worth the reward that's involved. Okay, so just to summarize, use a higher time frame in the market that you trade. Try a 10 or a 15-minute chart if you're trading a 1 or a 2 or a 3-minute chart intraday. Draw the lines using the ray tool off of the swing points. Drop down to a lower time frame. Fill the gaps between the lines where there's huge gaps with the 50% Fibonacci tool. And then where there are no gaps moving down or moving up, copy and paste the gap between the last two lines and continue to do that out in the future to get a sense of where those next bounce points will be along the way. We love to give out free indicators. We love to talk about how these tools can work straight out of NinjaTrader without any kind of additional investment. When you first get started, keep most of your cash in your account for as long as you can because you're going to need it. So if you're interested in those types of things, I want you to take a second, go to our website, backtothefuturetrading.com/unplugged, and there's a place where you can let us know, hey, I want to be a part of this. You guys are awesome. Give me some free indicators, some free templates, And we'd love to have you be a part of that growing community. I'm this guy right here, Michael from Back to the Future. This has been another episode of NinjaTrader Unplugged. Be careful out there, and remember, there's some really good tools in the NinjaTrader library that are absolutely free. Talk to you later.